with Van Dijk all set to sign a deal up until 2027, which will take him up to the age of 36. Liverpool still need to prepare for life after Virgil van Dijk, even though he does look like a man who can continue playing for a very, very long time. So, of course, with that being said, Liverpool know they need to try and secure a player from now. We all know how the market goes. We all know how teams behave, especially when they know you need a centre back. So if Liverpool can get in there early and bring in someone who may potentially be an heir to Virgil van Dijk, even though that's probably going to be impossible because he is a generational player, it's probably best to at least try and see if you can find that individual who can just at least fill in and take over from Virgil van Dijk when that unfortunate day comes. So, Liverpool fans, I ask you, who should Arne Slot be looking at this summer? Which centre-back best suits his system? Is there an unearthed player that we haven't seen much around Europe or even in South America? Is it someone who's already Premier League proven? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm going to show you guys a few centre-backs who I feel are probably realistic targets for Liverpool heading into the summer window. Players that I think may potentially suit the system best for Liverpool under Arne Slot and could be very good successors. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. So we're going to start off with a very, very obvious one. He's a player that's been linked with Liverpool quite a lot recently in the media, and that is Dean Huijsen. 6'5" Spanish defender who's been brilliant since moving to Bournemouth. Technical ability, he's very, very comfortable in possession and he likes to step into midfield to try and progress play. He's composed under pressure, a strong passer with a calm temperament that kind of mirrors a young Virgil van Dijk, heck, even an old Virgil van Dijk, to be honest with you. And I feel that Arne Slot probably would love his ball playing nature, but his physical development and positioning still need refining. A long-term project, but with a huge, huge upside. He, of course, does have a 50 million release clause at Bournemouth, and there are a few clubs who are in for him this summer, both in the Premier League and abroad. I think it's all about convincing him of the project at Liverpool, because of course he is a player who is on the rise, but he's also a player who needs the game time. I don't know if he's going to be a player who doesn't mind sitting on the bench whilst Liverpool play Konaté and Virgil van Dijk, and then only coming in for a few games here and there like Jarell Quansah. So if you can convince him of the long-term project at the football club, I think he would be a very, very good signing, and definitely someone who I feel might be comfortable enough, especially because they've played in the Premier League, to potentially take over from Virgil van Dijk and partner a Konaté, for example. Next up for you guys, we have got Crystal Palace's captain, centre-back Marc Guéhi. Now, with Marc Guéhi, he brings something a little different. He's a Premier League experienced centre-back. The Crystal man is agile, intelligent, and he does like to thrive in these 1v1 situations. Now, his ability to read danger early and make clean, calculated interventions makes him a solid fit for a high defensive line. Slot's style relies on proactive defenders who aren't afraid to defend on the halfway line. Guéhi might not be flashy on the ball, but he's reliable, and at just the age of 24, listen, he's entering into his prime, so may represent a very, very good deal for Liverpool, especially with getting in someone who's already so known to the league, is already adjusted and accustomed to the way the Premier League works, and may be a good option for the future. Next up on the list, we have Nottingham Forest Murillo. Very interesting player Murillo is. Second season here at Nottingham Forest, really has had a superb season, especially, working under Nuno. The Brazilian, he does have flair. He's got composure, and he's definitely definitely not afraid to dribble out from the back. The fact that he's left-footed too, which makes him a hot commodity in today's football, but it also helps to provide balance to the centre-back partnership. Now, his passing range and his coolness in build-up could thrive in a slot system that encourages defenders to initiate attacks. Defensively, he is quite raw, sometimes a little bit too confident, but I feel that he has got a high enough ceiling and he could be the wildcard choice that potentially pays off big in the future. Next up on the list, we head on over to Germany to take a look at Borussia Dortmund's Nico Schlotterbeck. Powerful, aggressive, and he's left-footed. Schlotterbeck loves stepping out to press and win the ball early. He's fearless in the tackle and confident carrying the ball up the pitch. Again, these are all traits that Arne Slot may want to utilize, especially heading into the next couple of seasons and beyond. For Slot, he does want players who can break lines and play vertically. Schlotterbeck does fit that quite well. The concern, sometimes he overcommits, but his bravery and athleticism make him a strong candidate to even challenge Konaté in the next season if he were to sign straight away. Next up, we've got a name of a player who Liverpool fans haven't spoken about in a very long time, since Liverpool got in Arne Slot actually, because we thought we were going to get a new manager, which was obviously Ruben Amorim, but of course he moved to Manchester United. But the player we're going to be taking a look at next is Gonzalo Inacio. As I mentioned before, there was a lot of conversation about Gonzalo Inacio, especially at Sporting Lisbon, playing in the Amorim system. Players who do like to play out from the back. This was definitely hot commodity for Liverpool fans for a very, very long time. The Portuguese international, he's a calm, cultured centre-back. As I mentioned, he excels in possession. He loves his diagonal switches, and his composure under pressure are tailor-made for a team that wants to dominate with the ball. Now, Slot could use him as a left-sided centre-back who builds play from deep, and Inacio already looks like a player who is ready to take the next step, and he might just be an ideal player to take over Virgil van Dijk in the future, and may not be a player who necessarily is going to demand playing time immediately coming in, but also might be good enough to step in when needed. Next up, another player who of course has been linked with Liverpool in the past, and that is Bayer Leverkusen's Piero Hincapié. Another left-footed centre-back. He can also play, of course, as a wing-back if needed, especially in different systems. So, definitely a player who's got quite high tactical IQ. Of course, under Xabi Alonso in Bayer Leverkusen, he's thrived, in a back three. So that might be a little bit different, for Arne Slot in terms of the back four that he plays, but he's versatile enough to play in two. He's sharp, he's fast, and reads the game very well. He's also a very, very good passer of the ball under pressure, and in a Slot team that demands quick transitions and control from the back, Hincapié could adapt well. He's aggressive, fearless, and has that South American fire. And last but not least, we have got Castello Luqueba. Now, Luqueba was a target of mine actually when he was at Lyon before moving to RB Leipzig, and to be honest, he's kind of developed in the way that I assumed that he would, in terms of maybe not a player who's going to have a meteoric rise in European football. That would have been absolutely brilliant, but definitely a player I felt that would steadily just keep improving little by little until he's ready for that big move. And of course, at RB Leipzig, he's learning that Red Bull way: high pressing, fast transitions, and compact defending. He is a player who I feel is quite smooth on the ball. He's positionally aware and always looking to drive play forward. For Slot, who wants his defenders that can cover space very quickly, as we've seen, of course, with Konaté on that right-hand side, and he needs players who can recycle possession quite smartly. I feel that Luqueba is a player who fits that bill very, very well. Young, but he's still quite mature on the pitch, and I feel, and again, this is just more of a feeling, that he is a player that could be a star in the making, someone who I feel can come in and learn off of Virgil van Dijk, learn the Premier League a lot easier without the pressure, and then be ready to take over once Virgil van Dijk leaves. Now, before wrapping up this centre-back segment, of course, you know, we do still have two defenders at the football club, but both look like they've got very intriguing prospects going forward. Joe Gomez, as we know, currently injured and is a player who does pick up quite a lot of injuries, longest serving player at the football club currently. So of course, he is a player that has served us well at times, of course, helping to win the Premier League. So he's a player that I think fans probably would be sad to see go, just because of the way that his career has panned out in terms of the amount of injuries. He was a player that I felt that if Van Dijk were to leave and we had a Konaté, he would be a good replacement to kind of come in, but unfortunately it just hasn't worked out, and I feel that in the summer it's probably time that he seek pastures new. Jarell Quansah is a bit of a weird one, you know, a player who has been on the rise in the last couple of seasons, of course making his debut under Jurgen Klopp. This season, of course, under Slot, he really hasn't set the world alight. You know, he's come on mostly as a right back, to be fair, under Slot this season, so I don't know what his future looks like under Arne Slot, as to where Arne Slot even sees him. He might also really feel he needs the game time, especially as he wants to continue getting into those England squads. So again, he might be a player who might look for pastures new in the summer. So guys, in the comment section, let me know who Liverpool should be going for. Do you feel that Liverpool should be going for a ball player? So, you know, players in the ilk of an Inacio or an Huijsen? Do we go for proven tacklers like a Gueye or a Schlotterbeck? Or do we go with more raw talent like a Murillo or Lukeba? One thing is clear though, under Arne Slot, the Reds will be planning for the future. He has mentioned that we are going to try to make the squad stronger next season. So let's wait and see what happens in the transfer window.